promised land is in the palm of our hands, not confined by the lines drawn in the sand.
Hi everyone, I'm with KAren Swain, who's a spiritual mentor and a teacher of deliberate creation. She's also a radio host, an author, an inspirational speaker, and what I like most is you're a difference maker. Tell me what that means.
Tell me what that means. People that make a difference in somebody's life, anyone that makes a difference in someone's life is a difference maker. Like you, Justin, you're a difference maker.
Cool. What does the deliberate creation mean?
So I help people learn how they're creating on purpose. And that means that every thought that we hold holds a vibration, and that vibration goes out into the matrix of life and attracts similar unto us. And when we are deliberate in what we think and feel, we can create the life we want. So a teacher of deliberate creation is someone who teaches people about the law of attraction, about the power of their thoughts, about their emotional guidance system, and about tuning in and listening to the vibration within them so that they know what they're creating.
Now,
Deliberate.
That was a beautiful description. Just tell us a little bit more about the law of attraction. Some people will know it, some people won't.
Well, the law of attraction says that every vibration you hold and that you offer life, you attract similar into your life. So law of attraction, as it was coined by Esther and Jerry Hicks from the Teachings of Abraham. When I was in my early 20s, I read one of the Seth books. It was a channeled book by a woman called Jane Roberts in the US, and she was channeling a teacher who called himself Seth. And he spoke about the law of attraction, but he didn't call it the law of attraction. He said, the only way to change your physical circumstances is to change your attitude towards it. Because your attitude towards anything is your perception, your thoughts about it, and your thoughts hold a vibration, go out, as I said, into the matrix, and then attract back to you or mirror back to you similar circumstances. And so he was very much talking about the law of attraction. Buddha was talking about it. Jesus was talking about it. All great spiritual teachers were talking about it. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. But Esther coined the phrase, the law of attraction, which soon became really big when Rhonda Byrne made the movie The Secret, and she talked about the law of attraction. But the law of attraction is the engine of the universe. It is driving our lives. And I think that when we're wanting to just live, you don't even have to want to be a spiritual person or an enlightened person. Anyone that wants to know how to live a good life needs to understand how the law of attraction is working in their life, I believe.
Brilliant. Now, how did you get into it? You talked about your early 20s. Tell us a bit about your journey.
Well, I started asking questions when I was about 2. You've got kids, you know what they're like. Why? But why does that happen? But why? And my parents were really not that investigative was that word. And so I was always that one. And I would ask the big questions like, I don't understand this whole religion thing. Why would a baby be born in sin? Think about a baby that's just beautiful and delicious. And how could a baby be born in sin? Why do you need to baptize? And I would ask my parents, who were non-denominational, non-religious, all these really deep spiritual questions and frustrate them. And they'd say, oh, I don't know. Do you have to know these things? Like, ask your father or ask your mother. Anyway, Mum got really sick when I was in my early teens. And apart from not wanting to focus on her sickness, because I was too selfishly thinking about myself and what boy liked me and what pair of shoes to buy, when she died, those questions became much more intense. Like, where is she? Where did she go? Where do we come from? Who are we? And what are we doing here? You know, some of those little questions that you ask life. And so when I started having dreams she used to come to me in dreams, and she always said to me that she didn't die in her dreams, which really frustrated me because I was thinking, if you didn't die, then where are you and why aren't you with me? So I was interpreting some great spiritual wisdom coming to me, but it was coming through the filter of my subconscious beliefs. And I knew nothing about how life works, who we are as spiritual or energetic beings, or where we come from or where we go. So I set forth on a journey to find out, in between life dramas, boyfriends, shoes, jobs, making money and all that sort of thing. It was not as intense when I was younger. It got a little bit more intense when I was probably in my 30s.
So how did you then move on to the point that you are now?
Well, it's been a bit of a long ride, Justin. It's been a bit of a long ride. So in my 30s, what I did was I started studying naturopathy when I was in my 20s because actually a girlfriend gave me a massage course, and she said to me, would you be interested in doing it? And I said, nope, not at all. I was interested in, I wanted to design clothes. I wanted to be famous. I don't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something but not do massage or anything like that. But I took her up on the offer because she said, it's free, I've paid for it. And I went, okay. And I noticed that this guy that was doing this massage course was loving his job. He was just in love with what he did. And before I'd even started my career and moving up the corporate ladder and becoming rich and famous, as everyone thinks they're going to be, I just looked at this guy and I thought, this guy's got some answers that I need to know about. He quit the corporate world. He and his wife were moving very fast up the corporate ladder and making lots of money, but they were stressed out all the time. So he quit his job, he and his wife, and they started this massage business. And I thought, he's got some answers. I need to investigate this. And then I found myself doing naturopathy full time, which I thought would have the answers. So we did massage and homeopathy and herbs and everything, symptomatology and diagnosis and anatomy and physiology. And I thought I'd find some answers there. So after 5 years full-time study, I had a baby and opened a furniture shop because I didn't find my answers. Yeah.
Is that what people do? They open a furniture shop?
Yeah, do a full-time naturopathy course and open a furniture shop. I didn't find any answers in the furniture shop either.
There wasn't a secret drawer in one of those dressers that had all the answers,
No.
10 questions you were always too scared to ask. Here are the answers.
Yeah, exactly. So I shut the shop after about 5 years of doing that and started massaging because massage was a way to make money. And I was really good at it, actually. I was really good. I had a lot of friends in the film industry that used to send me all the Hollywood movie stars, and I used to massage all the Hollywood movie stars. And I noticed that when I put my hands on people, I'd know about them. I know what they thought. I know what they were afraid of. I'd know what their dreams were. I'd understand things about their body, and I needed to find out what I was doing because I didn't understand what was happening to me. I even saw people's past lives, and I just thought, what's happening to me? I need to understand this better. So I've got to say that when I was at that stage, I never thought that I would be a spiritual healer, but I read a lot of spiritual books up until that time. I was reading and asking questions and reading. And I read a book, Hands of Light, about energy healing and all that sort of stuff, and did a lot of courses. I did theta healing and pranic healing and Reiki. Look, I did all sorts of energy healing courses and just kept rolling along on this path of asking questions and having answers come to me. But the answers came to me not just in the books, they came to me in life experiences. So I kept saying, if we're the creators of our reality, how far do we take that? Because surely we can't create all of it. I mean, really, there are other people out there creating. We can't create all of it. And I remember when I gave birth to my daughter, she's 24 now, I had an acupuncturist with me, thinking that would help the pain. I wasn't going to have any drugs. I was going to do it the natural way. And anyway, after being induced and quite a few hours on the drugs, I'm screaming, "Bring me the drugs! Bring me the drugs!" Kick that acupuncturist out. Bring me the drugs. And anyway, so the anaesthetist came in. and he was fussing around at the back of me, and I thought I felt him put the needle in, and I had instant relief of this pain that was just excruciating. I just had instant. So I said, oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And he said, keep still. I haven't put the needle in yet. And I said, you have, because I have absolutely no pain, but I have complete sensation in my body. And he said, just be quiet. He couldn't understand my reality, because my reality was not going along with his paradigm of you can't not feel pain until I give you the drugs.
Yeah.
So I gave birth pretty quickly after that, and I was arguing with the doctors because I was seeing what was happening in my body. I was feeling the baby move down. I had no pain, and they were saying that all that was impossible. And yet I was having an experience that no one could explain. And so after that, I said to my guides, because I started tapping into that inner being, our inner being, and talking to that. I used to call them the mob. I call them my guides. I first called them my common sense. It's just my common sense.
Yeah.
But we all have that all the time. When we ask a question and we stop asking the question, we receive the answer, both from our own thoughts or from outside of us, but we receive the answer. We have this communication going on inside us all the time. Some call it the devil and some call it the angel, depending on who's communicating to you.
Yeah.
Your fear or your love. So I said to that aspect of me that was love, what was that all about? And they said, we told you are the creator of your own reality. And I said to them, how far do we take this? And they said, because you believed that you had the drugs, you had the experience of having no pain.
Wow.
So your beliefs create your reality, regardless of what's happening to you.
Wow.
And life presented many opportunities for me to learn this. Yeah. And so they asked me to teach this in any way I could.
So how did you then develop your process for teaching that?
That's a good question. I'm still developing that, Justin.
That's your mob ringing.
Yeah.
They're checking.
Hello? Are you
They're
there?
checking in. They've got the answers for you.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm still developing. Like, life is a journey of constant expansion. Infinity is always creative. We are constantly on a journey of expansion, and questions and answers and questions and answers and questions and answers, all of us. So how I developed so I developed my intuitive or my psychic abilities, and then I invited people to ask my mob through me questions that I've received. And also I used to do a lot of healing courses. I used to teach people how to develop their psychic abilities, because I don't want to be anyone's guru. I don't want to be anyone's teacher that they can't find the answers inside themselves. So my teaching courses are always about finding the teacher within. And tapping into that, your own mob, your own guides, angels, inner being, higher self, God presence, love, source, whatever you want to call it, but finding the answers within. And so I was teaching that for a long time, and I'm still teaching that. And then I realized that this planet that we're on, this humanity that we live in, it's really expanding exponentially. And people like you and all sorts of other people are waking up to ways of teaching people how to expand their reality and get in touch with that source within them. And I figured that I am not the only voice amongst the teachers on the planet that have something cool to say. And so I really wanted to expand this knowledge of how powerful we are and who we are as creative beings by interviewing other people. And so that's when I started the radio show about 4 years ago. I really wanted to expand the message of deliberate creation by interviewing people that had stories of their own, showing how they're creating and how they're teaching it. So I started the radio show Accentuate the Positive about 4 years ago. And Accentuate the Positive is not just the name of the show, it's actually the teaching in itself. Because to become a creative genius, deliberate creator of your own reality, you have to accentuate the positive. No matter what life's throwing at you, can you find something in it that's teaching you something? Can you find something in it that is good? Can you find an aspect that feels better than the drama that's going on in your head that says, this is terrible, it shouldn't be happening to me? Yeah.
It's interesting because a friend of mine who's launching a new event himself this week, just put out a stat that says that when you're in a positive frame of mind, your brain is actually 30% more efficient.
Ooh.
And 30% more productive.
More than that. When you're in a positive frame of mind, all of it, you have access to everything.
Wow. Okay.
Here's the thing.
So maybe it's 300%.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Okay.
Source energy or infinite creative intelligence is pure positive energy that vibrates at a different frequency than most of the frequencies in the physical plane. So in order to access anything you want to access, say you've got a question or you want to access your dead relatives or God or your angels or whatever you want to access that you feel has some sort of benefit to your life, you have to evoke a similar vibration to access it. Oh. So source is a source of pure positive energy, and it comes into this dimension and creates everything that we see. So you could call that God, or you could call it source, or you could call it creative, infinite, pure positive energy, whatever. Mm-hmm. And the way you access your creative power is to line up with that vibration. And once you are a vibrational match to that vibration, you have the tools in your life to create what you want to create. But when you're thinking a negative thought, it doesn't match pure positive energy or the thoughts of source, like Einstein said. Mm-hmm. I want to know the thoughts of God, the rest are details.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
He realized that there is a vibration which is intelligent, and you could call it love or you could call it positivity. Either way, it's intelligent and it's creative. And so when we're thinking a negative thought, we pinch ourselves off from access to that creative energy. So a negative thought in itself doesn't hold as much creative power as a positive thought, which means that we can think very negatively for a long time and not really have instant ramifications of that. Like people that get sick, for instance, usually had been on a habitual thought pattern of negative thinking for quite some time. And that's why we see a lot of diseases happening in older people than younger people, because we set up this pattern of thinking and we start going over it and over it and over it and over it. And little by little, we pinch off that flow of life force energy, which nurtures the body and nurtures our lives and creates what we want in our life. So it's like there's this hose, this fire hydrant of energy that's coming through this hose. And when you're thinking negatively, it's like you're treading on the hose and saying, "Where's the water?" Why isn't there any water? And the way you take your foot off the hose is you start to think more positively. So accentuating the positive in anything in your life allows you access to the infinite flow of creative energy. And that's how we become deliberate creators of our own reality. Yeah.
So how else, I'll go back to that word access we used earlier. How else do people access you? You have your radio show, but what about the teachings or the healings?
Well, people access me through my site, which is KarenSwain.com, KarenSwain.com. And I do private sessions with people, so I tune into their guides. And I also help them tune into their guides and really help them shift some of those negative thought patterns, because it's all about seeing life through a new perspective. As I read in the Seth books years ago, the only true way to change anything in your life is to change your attitude around it. So I help people change their perspective and their attitude. I mean, think about it. 3 people could go to a movie. One could love it, one could hate it, one could think it was boring. Same movie, different attitude. And when you think about your life, the movie that is your life, do you want to love it? Do you want to hate it? Or do you want to think it's boring? Because your perception of what's happening is going to determine your experience of your life. And the thing about law of attraction, which is so beautiful, is when you start to shift to shift your perception and to shift your attitude around your life, you attract more things into your life that line up with your new perception. So when you start accentuating the positive, for instance, and you start loving what you're seeing in your life, loving the people around you, loving your job, you stop resisting against life and saying, this shouldn't be like this, it has to be different. Then that's when you shift and change things in your life. You'll never change anything by pushing against it. So many of us think that in order to change something in our life, we have to scream and yell and stomp and rave and say how it's not good, it's not good, it's not good. But there's another very powerful law, which is called the law of resistance or least resistance. So when you start loving those things in your life that you think are not great, you have power to shift them, like magic happens.
So people go on your website. Can they set up a one-on-one consultancy with you? Can they go on a course with you?
Yes, all that. You can do all that on the website. You can do a 6-week personal course. You can come to our Conscious Creation Nights, which happen in Sydney once a month. You can do private sessions with me and also Genius Creators online. And listen to all the fabulous people that I've interviewed too and their stories. So there's heaps of free information on the website. And if you want to get deeper into it and have more personal access to how you're creating and some of the thought patterns that are stopping you from feeling the joy that you want, or help you change your perception about your life or yourself, really it comes down to how you perceive yourself. Everything else reflects how you perceive yourself.
So people just need to go to KAren Swain, which is KAREN SWAIN .com.
.com.
That's easy. So tell me, what next? Where do you want to take this?
That's a good question. That's a question that I ask That's a question I
Some
ask
very wise person asked me that question a couple of weeks ago.
No one's ever asked me that.
Asking that one.
Where do I want to take this? Oh, I've got so many dreams, Justin. I've got so many dreams. The expansion of our consciousness is just exponential at the moment. The sky's the limit with this stuff.
Yep.
I want to see more people wake up, and it doesn't have to be about me waking them up, I just want to help people that have got this message, help others. I'm really a teacher of teachers. I have a group called the Difference Makers. So I put on Difference Makers, and my intention with the Difference Makers is to showcase people that are making a difference in some aspect of life. It could be through consciousness. It could be through the environment. It could be through money and abundance. It could be through business. It could be through song or dance or creative pursuits, art. But they're making a difference, and they're waking people up to the power of their own creative energy, and to bring people that want to make a difference in front of people that are, because there's a lot of, especially younger people out there, even middle-aged people, that are waking up to, I have something to offer this planet, and I know that I make a difference, but I don't know how I do that. And so I kind of want to bring the people that are doing it in front of the people that want to do it, and help inspire them and help wake up the difference makers to the power of their talents, because we all come in with beautiful talents. My talent is yapping. I'm a good yapper. I'm a good talker, and some people are great singers and artists, and some people are great business people, and everyone comes in with talents, and we can use that talent to expand the consciousness of our planet and help evolve humanity.
So if you were to give people 3 tips to starting to open up to their deliberate creation, or deliberately opening up to creation, what would those 3 be?
Number 1, make peace with where you are. Very important. Number 1, make peace with where you are. So every time we hit contrast, so the contrast could be we have a fight with someone, we hate our job, we get sick, we feel lonely, or we have a negative thought about ourselves. It could be listening to our, the drama going on in our head, the negative thinking. Instead of pushing against that and saying, I should be different, this should be different, I don't like this needs to change. So that's the desire that we give birth to. When we hit the contrast, as Esther Hicks would say, we launch rockets, like they shoot out of us, rockets of desires shoot out of us for something different. So that rocket should be, I should be different, or it should be different. So once we've put that out into the matrix of life, life manifests the new reality. So the desire happens on a vibrational level. And in order to bring that vibration into the manifestation of your life, be it your thoughts or physical manifestation as your body or as the stuff or the people in your life, you need to line up the energy. So the first way to do that is stop pushing against what is and bring yourself to a place of, this is how it is and this is okay. Number one. The next is to start focusing on what it is that you want to give birth to instead of what's causing you to give birth to that. So Esther Hicks would say there's 3 parts to the creative process. 1, ask. 2, orchestrate the details. And 3, allow. So our job as creators is to ask, and we do that every time we get sick or every time we get angry or every time we get frustrated. We shoot these rockets out of us. We ask. It has to be different. I want something different. I want more. I want to be well again. We ask. And then life orchestrates the details. The engine of life, which is law of attraction, orchestrates all those things that you're asking for to coalesce into what you want, whether it's thoughts in your head, health in your body, or stuff in your life. Number 3 is the most important process, and that's allow. And that's where accentuating the positive comes into it. So allowing means that you line up with the vibration that you've asked for. So why do you want it? I want to be rich. Why? Because I want to feel free. I want to feel empowered. I want to feel like I have... Usually money is wrapped around freedom. I want to feel like I've got the freedom to be and do and have anything I want. That vibration's available to you without having the money. So that's the allowing process, to bring that energy into your thinking pattern and feel that vibration of freedom, feel the freedom. And then you're a vibrational match to what you're asking for. And that's how we become deliberate creators. Genius, deliberate creators of our own reality. Yeah.
So people that are watching or listening to this might be thinking, well, I'm a little bit stuck. It's all very well saying there are 3 steps. Who do you feel that you are here to help right now? So people can kind of self-select and say if it's relevant to them.
I'm here to inspire the difference makers. I used to call myself a teacher of teachers. Everyone, even when I was young, when I was massaging, I used to get clients, all of them were teaching others in some way. And I noticed that all of my clients were helping others in some way. And I used to think, they're the people I attract. I attract healers. Or I attract teachers. But now I call them the difference makers, because healers and teachers, you sort of think of people as doing energy healing or teaching at school. There are so many people out there that are making a difference in so many different ways. Musicians, their message is their music, and conscious musicians that are teaching through their words and through the vibration of their music, or artists or dancers or anyone that has an intention to uplift and to empower and to inspire and wants to do it with their own special talent. So they're the people that I'm attracting, the difference makers. Yeah.
Some of these difference makers would not necessarily know that they are difference makers, because they might be stuck in a place that's difficult. So one of the things that I like to ask is, how are people feeling, or what are they facing at this crucial time where you can unlock something in them? Typically when people come to you, how are they feeling, or where are they?
They know that they make a difference. They know they're a caring person. They know they've got a lot to give. They might not know what that looks like. They might be caught up in their own drama, in their own head. They haven't forgiven their family. They're fighting with their brothers or neighbors, or, they're still carrying on this sort of lower dimensional energy that most of us on the planet are doing. You know, there's resistance within them. They're believing their stressful thoughts, but they know that they've got love to give, they've got stuff to give, and they might not know what that looks like, but they know they've got it. No, they know. And, you know, people that I've attracted, like I had a client that was very much a difference maker, and he had a brilliant career and he made a lot of money. And then he wanted to deepen his spiritual practice, and he went into something different, and his life fell apart. And he came to me because he was just in this confusion of like, what happened? And we just cleaned up a few ideas and perspectives and gave him a bit of a channeling and a talk to, and he went off and, you know, ended up on 60 Minutes a few weeks ago, changing the world. Yeah. So, yeah.
So you've been hiding your light under a bushel, haven't you, Karen?
I don't talk about myself a lot, Justin. I don't.
Well, this is an opportunity to do that, because, of course, that's how you're going to help people, is by getting yourself out there and reminding people that you can help them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So give me two other examples of people that you've helped recently or over the last year or so that really made an impression on you because of the advancements they made.
Oh, that's a good question. Because of the advancements they've made.
Or the change that they were able to enact.
Well, the advancements that anyone makes is going from hating their life to loving their life, from feeling like they're not on purpose to they are on purpose. Being reminded, I call my teachers reminders from home, because I believe that we all have that guidance within us. We all have source or our inner being reminding us all the time of how powerful we are, how loved we are, how brilliant we are, how creative we are. And because of our stressful thinking, we're not listening to it. And so when people come to me, I just remind them of all of that, you know, like I remind them. And we look at a few of the ideas that are cutting them off from that. But success is always feeling better. That's the success. It's really not about, you know, getting the stuff. The stuff shows up when you feel better, but what you're wanting to manifest is a better feeling. And that's it. Verbatim. That's it. It's okay, you might want a bigger house or a bigger car or a better job, or you might want all that stuff, or you might want to change the world. But really what you want to do is you want to feel like you're on purpose. You want to feel like you're making a difference. You want to feel fulfilled. And that is always what people are looking for. They're looking for that fulfillment, that inner fulfillment in anything they do. They might say that it comes in the form of a lover or a job or health, but it actually comes in the form of a feeling.
And you work with all ages?
I do.
Male, female?
I do.
It's for you, it's for them to be someone who feels like they can make a difference, and they want to make a difference.
Yeah. Someone who wants to know about law of attraction as well and how it's working in their life. There's a lot of confusion out there since The Secret. You know, when The Secret came out, I was like, yes, because I've been talking about it for years, and people have been going, oh, that crap. But, you know, there was still a lot of mainstream people going, oh, that crap. But there was a lot of confusion about how law of attraction actually works, that you could just think about something, it's going to show up in your life. There weren't too many people in the mainstream talking about vibrational matching. You know, your thoughts have to have a vibrational match. You have to feel it in order to attract it into your life. But your feelings don't attract. Your feelings are your feedback system. Your feelings are like your eyes. Your eyes interpret energy, and then we see that as sight. And it's like your ears. Your ears interpret energy, and we perceive that as hearing. It's the same with taste and touch. Your feelings are your way of interpreting energy. So when you feel someone, that emotion is your feedback system that's saying, this is the vibration you're carrying at the moment. And always when you feel negative or sad or frustrated or angry, you have choice to change that vibration, because is that what I want in my life right now? And do I want to attract more stuff that brings that same vibration? So that's the power we have. We have power to choose how we feel. It's the greatest power we have. It's God's power here on earth, is that choice that we have to choose to feel differently, to be deliberate in how we feel. Yeah. What was the question?
Wonderful.
I forgot. People are looking. People are looking
Yeah,
for empowerment.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
of other people that you may have helped recently that sort of stand out.
Well, a lot of women ask about love and men ask about money. That seems to be a
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, it is interesting. People ask about how they can evolve their spiritualness, their evolution. A lot of people come to me to understand, like I was asking a lot of questions, they ask a lot of questions about who they are and how they're, manifesting what they want. And healers, how can I, young girl on Facebook yesterday, how can I develop my healing ability? How can I develop my intuitive ability? And are you going to do some more intuitive guidance courses again, like I used to do? So that was a question I had on Facebook yesterday, and I went, yeah, I'll be thinking about that. Yeah, doing that again. Because I used to teach somebody else's work. I used to teach Theta Healing by Vianna Stibel's work. Not to say that it's not great, because it's fantastic. But a lot of people said to me I needed to teach what was coming through me instead of what was coming through her, because we're all receiving our own unique way of teaching, whether it's through our music or business and to show people how they are individualistic. Yeah.
So how will you decide how to move forward in terms of delivering what you deliver? Because you're being called to do various things. Will you check in with your guides? Will you let it land? How do you actually work?
I always check in with them. Yeah, for sure. For sure. But here's the thing, Justin. I have an ego just like everyone else has an ego. And so I don't always hear their message to me about my personal stuff as clearly as I hear it about others. So I reach out to others too. But because I have a level of understanding and connection, I often find that when I reach out to others, they don't have the same level as I've got. Not to say that they're higher or lower than me. It's just a different vibration, different frequency. Yep. Everyone's doing their own thing in their own way. And so I look for people that have a similar understanding or level of vibration to reach out to have some clarity, because my head gets in the way like anyone else's head gets in the way. My head gets in the way, confusion. Yep. And indecisiveness and where to go next and what to do next. My problem is I've got so many ideas that I want to see manifest that I've got them all juggling, and I'm like, okay, what next? Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, good question. I don't know. There's a million. And my guides say to me, you can do all of them. You can do all of them. But the thing about having a lot of ideas that you want to see manifest is that you're not going to have great success in one while you've got all the balls juggling. That's what they say to me. So the choice is, do you want to have great success in one avenue, or do you want to see all of them manifest, but they're all going to manifest more slowly? So how attached are you to the success and the money as opposed to making a difference? And
can you not have both?
You can, but it's a time frame, because focus is what creates manifestation. The more you focus on something, the more attention you give something, the quicker it comes into manifestation. So when you've spread your focus, it's all going to manifest, but it's not going to manifest as quickly or as powerfully. But then it comes down to, what do you want? Like you would see an athlete, for instance, maybe they're not having relationships, their diet is completely on, they're focused on winning that race, they're completely focused in one direction, and they achieve their goals, and that might happen very quickly. And then, they win the race is over, and they've got other things to focus on. So it depends on what you choose. What are you choosing? So focus, spreading your focus out. It's like having a lot of children. You can focus on one or many. All of them are grow up and create a life, but it's easier to focus on one.
Well, I wish you well. I know that you'll make the right choice.
I'm making choices all the time.
And listening to your guides is a great piece of advice. And just to remind people, it's KAren Swain, that's KAREN SWAIN.com. That's where they can get all the information about how you help people. and also some lovely free stuff that they can have a look at, the interviews, and some guidance that they can actually use. So encourage everyone to jump on that site.
Thanks, darling.
And thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, just carry on making a difference.
Thank you, honey. Same to you.
And we'll chat soon.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Make direct contact. It's hidden in this moment, very right where you at. Lost in a strange land, caught up in this game plan. Trying to find my way back to the train station. Looking outside, but it's not a placement, it's a state of mind. Graceland.